Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to Selection Sunday. We've got a lot of games to react to, a lot of tickets punched, and an overall bracket update here. Let's get right into it. Houston University crushing Cincinnati in the American semifinal. They did suffer an injury to their best guard, but as long as he's healthy, this Houston team, minimum auto lock to the Sweet 16, probably an auto lock to the Elite 8 guys in your brackets as long as they don't get a tough region. Houston is just so complete. They are such a good defensive team, and they're also really efficient on offense. That Cincinnati team is not bad, and they completely curb stomped them. Houston is unbelievable. Arizona over UCLA by 2. They win the Pac-12. You know, I wouldn't take a ton of stock into that game one way or another. I think it was a pick'em, and it ended up being a 2-point Arizona win. So I think both of those teams are probably safely into the Sweet 16, but I am not picking either one of those teams to advance to the Final Four. Texas beats Kansas. This Texas team is looking so good. And Kansas, without Bill Self, struggling on offense against Iowa State and now against Texas. Alabama beats Missouri in the SEC tournament semifinal there. Not surprising. Alabama sitting at around 8 or 9 point favorites in that one. They end up winning by 11. Purdue beats Ohio State, so they end OSU's little Cinderella run early, 80-66. Bryce Sensabaugh didn't play again. Purdue, guys, if they are a 1 seed, it's kind of looking, because UCLA lost to Arizona, it's looking like Purdue will be the final 1 seed. I would say Purdue makes it no further than the Elite 8. I'm probably going to have them out at the Sweet 16 personally. Marquette beats Xavier. They crushed them. Great defensive performance by Marquette against a Xavier team that is elite on offense. Everyone's got this, guys. Marquette into the Final Four. You'll see it later today with my bracket. Everyone's in on Marquette. I had a vision, I had a dream about Marquette University making the Final Four. They're not going to win the title because they don't have a good enough defense, but they will make the Final Four as long as they don't get a tough region against Houston. Next, you have Duke beating Virginia. Stay away from Virginia basketball in the NCAA tournament. They're a one and done in the tournament. Virginia, they don't even score 50 points. Duke is impressive. Duke might be a Sweet 16, maybe an Elite 8 team. They've got momentum. They win the ACC. Texas A&M's got a ton of momentum. They beat Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt needed that game. They were out on the outside looking in. They lose to A&M. A lot of people are going to be picking Texas A&M to go far. They've got momentum. Penn State, they've got a ton of momentum. They've got a superstar guard. They beat Indiana. Penn State's looking like a 10 seed. They're not going to be in the first 4. That's an impressive win. They're going to face Purdue in the Big Ten championship game. San Diego State over Utah State. I would still recommend against picking San Diego State. I'm not a fan of their offense overall. Congratulations are in order to Vermont University. They get the auto bid in the American East. I was rooting for UMass Lowell, but you got to give Vermont credit. They always seem to win that conference. Yale wins the Ivy semifinal. They are the 1 seed there. Congratulations are in order to Howard University for beating Norfolk State. They will be a 16 seed, and they will probably be in the first 4. VCU beats St. Louis. It's unfortunate. I'm a real fan of that St. Louis team, but you know what? All is not lost. St. Louis, we'll see you in the NIT. VCU, they're probably going to be a 12 seed if they win the Atlantic 10. And I am certainly not going to pick them, especially if they get matched up with St. Mary's. Princeton beats Penn, so it's going to be Princeton versus Yale in the Ivy League. Dayton beats Fordham, so Dayton is going to face VCU. I think Dayton beats VCU in the A-10 championship. Texas Southern beats Grambling, So Texas Southern now with a 14-20 record, they are on to the NCAA tournament. They're on to the first four, probably facing Fairleigh Dickinson, and I will very likely be picking Fairleigh Dickinson to beat Texas Southern in that game. Not that it really matters. I mean, who cares? But Memphis beats Tulane. This is a very dangerous Memphis team. They dropped a 90-burger on Tulane. They beat them by 40. I'm very impressed with Memphis. If they get an 8-9 matchup, round 2 against Purdue as a 1 seed, yes, please. I'll take Memphis to beat Purdue in a major upset in the second round if that happens. Kent State beats Toledo. I'm saying it right here, right now. Kent State as a 13 seed. They face Virginia, who's a 4. They win that game 100 times out of 100. Kent State maybe makes a Sweet 16 run. We'll see the type of bracket they get. Iona, they're making the tournament with Ricky Pitino. They win the Metro over Marist with a nice little 21-point win. Iona probably going to be a 13 seed. Florida Atlantic, they're probably moving up the seed line to a 7 seed. I would say they crush UAB. UAB's a good team. And you know what, UAB? All is not lost. We will see you in the NIT, and you might win the NIT. You know what, guys? I think Liberty's winning the NIT, honestly. Liberty is stacked, but no, FAU is impressive. And I don't know why I keep having this thing with my brain. I keep wanting to call Florida Atlantic Florida International. So I just need to start going FAU. I'll start calling them FAU. They're probably going to be a 7 seed. All they do is win. They're a team that could beat a 2 seed, but we'll have to see who they match up against. UC Santa Barbara. They beat Cal State Fullerton. They've got a dangerous offense. They will be a 15 seed. Congratulations to them. Congratulations are in order to Grand Canyon University for beating Southern Utah. They crushed them. They are in the NCAA tournament. Let's take a quick look at how the auto bids are looking when it comes to the seeding. You can see, just looking at the 10 seeds first, these are the at-larges. Boise State's in the tournament, Penn State's in the tournament, USC is in the tournament, Utah State's in the tournament. No questions asked. I would say Providence is pretty much a lock. Mississippi State is pretty much a lock to me to be in the first 4 as an 11 seed. NC State is right on the bubble. I think Rutgers is in for sure. And Pittsburgh is on the bubble. Arizona State's on the bubble. So it'll be interesting with those teams and how that plays out. I preferably hope that Rutgers makes it, but they're not on the first 4. I think they should be in, and they should get that bye through the first 4. Now, when it comes to the auto bids, you've got Charleston, 31-3. They're an auto bid. They're a 12 seed. The winner of Virginia Commonwealth versus Dayton will be a 12 seed. Oral Roberts and Drake will be 12 seeds. Kent State, a really good 13 seed. Iona, Yale, Louisiana, all likely 13 seeds. The 14 seeds, Furman, UC Santa Barbara, Kennesaw State, Grand Canyon. The 15 seeds, Colgate, Montana State, Vermont, UNC Asheville. And the 16 seeds down there, Northern Kentucky, Fairleigh Dickinson, Southeast Missouri State, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, Howard, and then the team that we can't see is Texas Southern. They will be in the first 4 there as well. And then I just wanted to talk about this. Apparently, you had Alabama fans wear these shirts that say "Killing Our Way Through the SEC," and people in the comments were like, "There's no way he's really an Alabama fan." Oh no, I guarantee you that's an Alabama fan. I would be shocked if it wasn't. But like the whole thing with Alabama and the karma, look, Alabama's really good, but there is no way I'm having them go to the Final Four. I just can't do it. I think they'll get knocked out. You know, if you guys don't know the situation with Brandon Miller, the one word I'll say on the Brandon Miller situation, it's sketchy. It's really sketchy. You know, even if he didn't know the idea that he brings the weapon that's used in a murder and he doesn't even get suspended. I mean, dude, I would just listen. I know a lot of people are going to be picking Alabama to go to the national championship and even win it, because certainly you look at their analytical profile, that's one of the teams you would pick minimum to go to the Final Four. Really, it's Alabama and Houston and then everyone else. I would just say when you add the karma factor into it, I mean, I'll have Marquette beating them. I'll have someone beating them. It just doesn't feel right. It's not a vibe, guys. It's just not. You know, like the situation is just, it's just a crappy situation. So I saw that, and I know people in the comments were like, that's a fan of Texas A&M. Dude, I guarantee you, maybe I'm wrong, and I'll admit if I am, but I would love for them to actually, like, look at that dude's profile and see if he seriously is a legitimate Alabama fan. Because I'm guessing he is. That is Alabama. Like, they don't really care. Like, they're so obsessed with college sports. It's like, just calm down. I don't know. It's pretty crazy. Wichita State is parting ways with their head coach. Make Wichita State great again. That's what I say about Wichita State. We remember when Wichita State with Fred VanVleet, Ron Baker, they were so impressive. They need to get back to that. I don't know where people are getting the idea that VCU is an at-large team. It's still a one big lead. Oh, I completely agree with that assessment. It is VCU is, if they lose to Dayton, they're going to the NIT. Maybe they're going to the CBI, actually. Maybe we'll send them to the CBI. That is by far a one-bid league there. So we've got all the conference championships happening today. I think the big storyline, Purdue, it's looking like they'll be the final number 1 seed. And UCLA will be a 2 in the West region right now after UCLA lost by 2. Again, that UCLA-Arizona game, it's exactly what we expected. It was a 2-point game. It is what it is. It could go either way. So I would say Purdue is the final 1 seed. I would say the teams that are on the bubble, that are safe, I think Providence is safely in. Mississippi State, personally, I think they should be out. But, I mean, based on the bracket metrics, they're in like 99% of the brackets, so they should be in. NC State probably going to be in, but it's close. Rutgers for sure. They're in 101 out of the 105 brackets. If you're in over 95%, you're traditionally in, so they should be in. Pittsburgh, 50-50 on if they're in or not. If they do get in, they're very likely in the first 4. And then Arizona State probably in the first 4 if they get in. Pittsburgh, I'm really not interested in picking them going far. Arizona State, no way. NC State, no way. Mississippi State, no way. Providence, no way. The one team that I would kind of look at is Rutgers, because I think they can frustrate teams with how good they are defensively, but they have a major deficiency on offense. I mean, let's call it what it is. That's a team that really struggles offensively. Just taking a look at it, you've got Houston and Memphis, with Houston around 8-point favorites. That's a huge game for Memphis. Imagine they win that. I'm guessing Houston is going to be very cautious, with the injury they suffered yesterday. So Memphis might be able to stack up a really quality win, and Memphis is looking really good analytically. They're ranked 22nd. Alabama facing Texas A&M. They are the favorites there, but could you imagine if Texas A&M wins that game, how much momentum they'll have going into the tournament? Purdue and Penn State, that's another game. I mean, think about if Penn State wins that game, the amount of momentum. If Purdue wins, I would say they've locked up that final number 1 seed. If they lose, it gets really hairy between them and UCLA. VCU and Dayton, they're playing for a bid. And then Yale and Princeton. Nerd hours, that's an 11 a.m. game there. I would expect Yale to win that one. They're around 6-point favorites in it. But guys, that is going to do it for this update when it comes to Selection Sunday. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description.